Good day everyone, and welcome to Winning Strategies. In this video, we are going to focus on how depression can ruin daily life. Depression affects a lot of people around the world and many of them do not even know they have it. According to the World Health Organization, around 300 million people are battling with it. Depression is a sneaky mental illness. It's hard to determine it. Most people tend to realize it when they are already suffering deep into it. Those people with the illness feels empty or sad, hopeless, irritable, fatigued, and restless. Depression takes away the motivation in you. It can also create problems in making a decision and concentrating. People experiencing it can act in ways that will worsen the situation. According to some, they would say that their lives had little or no structure, and everyday tasks became increasingly difficult. Others would talk about how the pressure of many responsibilities interacts with depression, creating a pile-up of obligations that in the end could affect everything negatively, including a halt to basic everyday functioning. Here are the common ways on how depression can ruin a person's daily life. 1. Makes sleeping difficult. Depression affects the sleeping routine. Some may stay up very late and sleep very little. It keeps the person up with unwanted thoughts staying around. This may end up having anxious feelings for the whole entire night. In some cases, there is oversleeping and the person will still feel sluggish. It makes the everyday task of getting out of bed very hard or impossible. The bed becomes a safe haven as it exerts an irresistible pull. 2. Eating habits become terrible. People with depression will either overeat or barely have anything at all. Some may find that the kitchen is the best place to be and eat every food in sight, trying to eat away the feeling of sadness or emptiness. For others, the feeling of having food is disgusting and doesn't have an appetite at all. Some may feel so tired that the idea of preparing a meal is overwhelming. 3. Every situation is exaggerated. Depression can trick the mind, making the person believe things differently and negatively. Usually, it can lead to a certain instance wherein the individual is always searching for things to reassure the negative thinking. Every time bad events happen, it is associated as evidence to prove that life is indeed negative. It is difficult to look up to the brighter side of life. 4. Evades problems. Depression by itself is overwhelming. One can feel devastated and out of control in most days, so trying to solve situations and problems straight on is very difficult to do. Ignoring the problem can in turn bring trouble because it will further pile up. 5. Feelings of guilt and self-hatred. When someone allows depression to take over the mind, it will give the feeling of self-hatred. There is always talking down to oneself and it will usually result in having issues regarding the development of self-esteem together with poor self-image and eventually believe being worthless. This can bring guilt feelings by thinking that all problems are their fault. 6. Living in fear. People with depression experience fear that unlikely events will happen. In severe cases, individuals will destroy a perfect situation, believing that it will turn out bad. Oftentimes, people will reject opportunities and will stop chasing their dreams. It's a twisted way to protect oneself because it prevents the person from living and achieving amazing things. 7. Poor hygiene. Depression absorbs all the energy. It's very difficult to get out of bed, so brushing the teeth, a shower, washing the hair and taking care of the body is totally neglected. Other people would see this behavior as laziness. But the truth is showering, or changing clean clothes is terribly exhausting and painful at times. 8. Isolation. People with depression usually isolate themselves for different reasons. Some will keep it because of the overwhelming feeling of socializing, and others believe it is better to be alone. In other cases, the person may feel so much self-hatred, there's no interaction. Those with severe depression may stay in the house for several days or even weeks. 9. Being disorganized. Depression brings along the feeling of exhaustion. So cleaning a room or the house becomes a challenging task to do. Dirty dishes and laundry start to pile up, and the garbage bin is overflowing. It becomes even a bigger physical challenge to walk around the room because everything is on the floor. Living in a cluttered place gives the feeling of being uncomfortable, but the lack of energy just doesn't help. 10. Lack of motivation. Depression deprives the person of its interests, hobbies, and desires. The once favorite pastimes are no longer a satisfying activity to do. Slowly finding oneself feeling numb and dead inside. Staying in bed all day would be possible. Depression affects people in different ways. The instances featured in this video are some obvious behaviors. Do you agree with all these? Want to share your story? Type in your comments below and share any experience. Thank you all for watching. And you can check out the other video entitled, "Don't Ignore the Warning Signs of Depression." See you all in the next video.